Welcome to the Rated Gen Z podcast. This is the first episode of season two. So,
Yay!
welcome, Anvita. I don't know why I decided to do seasons, but I just did. And you happen to be the premiere for season two, which is perfect because I love when I get my rock the boaters who are under 18 who suddenly turn 18, then they're able to graduate over to Rated Gen Z.
Yes,
So, first of all, happy belated birthday.
thank you.
Um, I am, bummed that I was not able to participate in the festivities, but I had my daughter and her foster dog in town, and that added a whole nother level to what was happening in this household. But before, I guess, because I would love to ask you about your birthday, why don't you give an intro? Because there might be some of you like listening that are new to Anvita, even though she's been on my Rock the Boat a couple times.
Yeah, so my name is Anvita. I am now 18 years old and I live in Southern California. I am currently a senior in high school and I've had the pleasure of being on Rock the Boat twice and meeting Raquel in person too, which is so fun. And I am a big advocate for different topics. I do a lot of work with patient advocacy in pediatric healthcare, as well as working with different nonprofits on social media and things like that.
Yes, you have so much that we can talk about for sure. But now that you're 18, do you feel any different?
Nope. Nope.
No,
I
now you
just,
can just make decisions, I guess, solely on your own. I mean, technically, you don't have to have a guardian sign for you, right? I mean, I think that's
yeah.
like the biggest thing.
Yeah. I mean, other than like legally, I feel like it's just, another day, another week.
Yeah.
Not very different.
So have you made a choice yet as to where you're going to go to school? I'm one of those people that I'm like, I don't want to jinx anything, so I
Yeah.
don't want to like say it.
Yeah, exactly.
I can be a little superstitious in some ways. Are you like that at all?
Yeah, a little like I there's this part of me that's like, oh, that's not actually gonna happen, but then I'm like, what if it does? And so I kind of just like, I'll just be on the safer side and play it safe.
Yeah. I know that being that you have been on this show twice, we've met in person several times. Twice, once you came down here to film Rock the Boat in
Yeah.
person. That was the second time we had known each other, first time meeting in person. And then the second time was us recording or filming for the I Hear
Yeah.
You Gen Z documentary. And then it was really nice that you got to come down and stay here when you were attending a conference here in San Diego. So I feel like you and I have had some really good conversations. And so I was thinking about it because I was like, all right, we've spoken a lot, now we're
If
going to do
only
a
you recorded
podcast and we're going to
those.
record it. Now she's 18. I'm like, how do I take it to the next level? But yeah, that's where I was like, well, it'd be kind of fun just to kind of discuss more, little things that I don't know about you. So that's why I was like, oh, are you superstitious? Do you believe in those things? Because I'm really big on like astrology, just kind of my horoscope and the cards, and then also just, kind of talking to the universe, asking for signs, like all of those things. Are you someone that has a little bit of that in you?
I mean, I think it's like all super interesting, but I understand none of it. And I've never like tried to learn more about it. It's probably something I'd want to do in the future.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's interesting, but since I don't understand any of it, like I can't follow it.
Yeah, at your age, I knew that there was like a part of me that gravitated towards that, but I never really dove into it. And now that I'm older, I have, and I'm one of those people that does like the birth chart, and I've done my human design chart, so I know like my personality, like I know so many of those things that it actually validates a lot of my personality and why I do what I do, and that's why I like it. It's not so much of that psychic piece of it where people think like you're gonna determine like when you're gonna meet that person or your job or this. No, it's more about understanding who I am And it's amazing how a lot of people don't believe in it. And I'll have friends and I'll be like, okay, when were you born? What time? Where? Let me do your birth chart. Like, let me, and then I'll read them like a snippet of it. And you're
Yeah.
always shocked because they're like, that's me.
Oh my gosh, maybe I need one.
I know. I mean, it's very specific, let me tell you. Because you know how the horoscope can be very generalized, and I agree with
Mhm.
that. But it's the basically with the birth chart for anybody that's kind of trying to understand what it is. It's essentially you, if you know exactly where you were born at exactly that time and the day and the year, what happens is it reads the sky. So it reads where the sun is placed, the moon, all the constellations, so all the signs. It's exactly the placement of all of them in the sky at that very
Mhm.
moment that you were born.
Oh wow,
And
that's
that is able to determine a lot about
yeah,
yourself. I know it sounds so
that's so
weird.
cool. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
never
so
I've
yeah,
never like done it or tried it for
yeah.
myself.
I'm wondering if your generation is getting more into that because it is a little bit more kind of mainstream and now you have social media and you have people
Mhm.
that are in that space that are online. So have you found that any like your peers or people that you know, do you find that maybe they're kind of getting into more of that?
Yeah, I have some friends that are like totally into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I mean,
think, yeah. Go
I
ahead.
see it on like social media and like I'll read it and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But I've never actually taken the time to see if it's like true for myself.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're young. So again, it was something that it took a lot of years for me to get into, but I just find that because it is so out there that a lot of the younger generation are getting more into that space. So it's interesting. Is there anything that people would be surprised to like know about you in that
Mm.
regard, like something kind of kooky, like me and my astrology?
I don't know. That's a good question. I guess like maybe this is something that people just don't know about me in general. It's not very unique, but I
Okay.
love to like bake and cook and I literally just 2 days ago I started like an Instagram page to start posting pictures of all the food that I make
Oh my gosh,
because
I'm gonna have to
I
start
wanted to
following
start
you.
keeping like a digital diary of it.
Okay.
And so a lot of people have been like, you should start that and you could sell stuff. And so I finally got around to it.
No, I'm
Um,
glad you did because I think you had mentioned it when we were talking. Because again, I think what happens is a lot of times, like for someone like yourself, I will tell you this. You do so much in the nonprofit space, and
mhm.
you're very intelligent and you're very driven, very ambitious. You're someone that loves to be out there. So you travel and go to these conferences and you speak, and you're just so involved. But I feel like it's so important too to know that you have essentially a hobby, something that's very different from that, because I think what happens is a lot of people forget that you need a good balance of different interests. So I like to hear that you're taking on more of your baking personality.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Yes.
I made a cake for my birthday and I was very happy with how it turned out. Like I I have not done anything like that before.
You'll have to
And
send me a
so
picture. I'm assuming you have
I
pictures
will.
of it. Okay, good.
Yes.
Um, and I know that you yourself, were you had a very strict diet at some point. Are are you baking with like dietary restrictions, or are you baking just normal, or are you one of those people that are like, oh, you're going to start baking like gluten-free, sugar-free, or something very niche, or no?
When I was gluten-free, I used to bake gluten-free
Okay.
so that I could eat it. But it it doesn't taste the same because gluten is what makes baked goods taste good. I
Yeah.
mean, and like have a good texture and things like that. So I don't anymore. If someone I know wants something like that or they have a dietary restriction, I can and I enjoy trying different things, but I would rather stick with no dietary like restrictions to that way I can try new things in terms of like flavors or try a different recipe that I've never made.
Yeah, so are you big into following recipes or do you like to experiment in the kitchen?
Um, it depends. So one thing for me is if whenever I'm making something, unless it's for a specific situation, like if someone asks me to make a cake for their birthday or whatever, a specific occasion, then I will, do what they want, obviously. But otherwise, I always have to try something new. It has to be something that I haven't done before, or else I kind of find it boring.
Yeah.
And so I will pull up a couple different recipes and then I end up using elements of a couple different ones. Sometimes if it's a niche recipe or something that seems very complicated, then I'll follow it the first time.
Okay. Do you have a favorite dish that you've done so far?
Oh my gosh, that's hard. I mean, okay, I tried pistachio cake for the first time a couple weeks ago, and it
Ooh,
was so good. I did not expect it to turn out that nice, but that was really good on like the baking side.
okay.
And then in terms of cooking, that's hard. I kind of think I l like making more complex dishes that are kind of multi-step or that take a long time.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't have a favorite like cooking dish, non-sweet, but I like trying different kinds of pastas and like Mexican food.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, are you someone that because I would think someone that bakes or cooks, has a pretty developed palate and can be, kind of detail oriented when you eat like other like people's foods that are homemade or baked? Do you kind of sit there and think, "Oh, how could I make this better?" Or, "Oh gosh, I would have changed that." Like, are you at that level yet?
Occasionally, but I don't go so deep. I'm not analyzing, oh, this has this flavor and I can taste this spice or
Oh,
anything
okay.
like that. I'm just usually, oh, how could I kind of replicate this or do a different version of it? But no, not at that level yet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not at that level at all. I mean, I'm one of those people that that I can follow a recipe, and if I follow it, like I do really well with it. And I'm good with just having like random, like a hodgepodge of things in the fridge. Like I'm really good at putting those together and making meals. Like I feel like that's my niche. It's just random stuff and then like having a knack to be able to make it into a meal because I'm one of those people that I hate wasting food, and if I see there's like a ton of different food in the fridge that needs to be eaten, I will manage to figure out a way to eat it all in one sitting.
Yeah, it's nice it's satisfying when you can just get rid of all the leftovers and eat them in one go.
Yeah, because my mom, because I live with my mom, and she's one of those people, and I think it might be her generation. She cannot throw anything away, even if it's like the tiniest little morsel of something. I'll go in the fridge and it's like wrapped up in tup in like tin foil. Like this is ridiculous. I'm gonna eat it later. Or, the tiniest like milk leftover or juice, and she'll put the
Yeah.
glass back in the fridge. I'll drink it later. And a lot of times it'll get pushed to the back of the fridge and she'll forget it's there. And then like, a couple weeks later, I find like a nice little science experiment in the fridge. And so yeah, that's a struggle that I have with my mom is being like, stop saving everything. Some things just deserve just to be thrown away, recycled, like not sitting in
Yeah.
the fridge.
Yeah.
I know that was one thing too, is, in the food industry, just how much food is wasted. Like that's something that literally like gives me anxiety when I think about it. So,
Mhm.
um, because even for you, like when people bake and cook, if something gets messed up, you got to just chuck it.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
even, you have a little bit of something left and you just let it go sometimes.
Yeah. How often do you get the opportunity to bake? Because obviously you have so much other stuff going on and school. Like, are you good at balancing all of those things?
I mean, I honestly picked it up over Thanksgiving and winter
Oh,
break this
okay.
year. Like again, I used to bake a lot and then I didn't have time the past year and a half. But now that I'm done with college applications and things like that, I'm trying to do a bit more. Like I did two over break. Yeah, I made two separate cakes for myself. And then I did one yesterday because it was a long weekend and I have a day off
Mhm.
today too.
Nice. Yeah, I was wondering. I
So
was like, I guess she doesn't have any class.
yeah, we have a extended 5 day long weekend.
Wow, nice.
Uh, and so yeah, doing one between like yesterday and today, since I have the time. But more than the time for me, the problem is who is gonna eat it.
Oh,
Because they're
well,
so
too bad I'm
big.
not closer. More, I mean, I'm just an hour away. I mean, it would be worth just driving up to. If you have any leftovers, I'm going to be up in Anaheim on Thursday till
Oh,
Sunday.
I'll save you a piece.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't have a big sweet tooth. I will eat like one slice and that's it. Um, and so, who's gonna eat a giant cake? It's just me and my mom.
Yeah,
So
but do you still have the pistachio cake? Is
no, I'm
darn.
sorry. I'll make one for you when you
No, no,
come
no,
up.
no. What's the other cake? Because the other one cakes, I'm sure will
This
be
one,
amazing.
the one I made yesterday, it was like vanilla chai spice. It had some random name to it.
Oh, interest. No, that
But
sounds good too.
with different kind of like a wintry cake along the lines of like pumpkin spice and,
Okay.
chai
No, that sounds yummy with
spices.
like a coffee in
Yeah.
the morning. My mom loves like having something sweet like that, like in the morning with
Yeah.
her coffee. So, yeah, we'll have to do some kind of
Yes.
like like a drive-by cake grab.
Yes. I mean, I decided to go with this like wintry flavor, and then it's been 80 degrees and it doesn't fit the vibe anymore.
Well, I mean, we are in Southern California. You
Yeah.
should know better.
Yeah.
So I want to know because obviously, college applications, all of those things. And now that you've started baking, have you found that like your levels of maybe stress, anxiety have really dropped? Like, have you found like a difference in your mental well-being and just like how you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just so happy it's done. I'm I was all on cloud nine after, submitting everything and
Yeah.
being done. And now it's kind of like I have, 5, 6 months to enjoy and have fun and just do, bake and do whatever I want. And then back for a 4 year grind.
Yeah. No, but I'm happy to hear that you are willing to take advantage of that because I feel like so many of us feel like, okay, what's next? And you almost feel guilty if you're not doing anything. I know I do sometimes. Like if I have a day where I'm not doing much and I'm just kind of, taking my time, I sometimes feel guilty like I'm wasting the day. And a lot of times I have to remind myself that no, you also deserve just some downtime and doing nothing. Like that's healthy too. And I'm wondering if you understand that, that it's important to have that downtime that you're doing nothing, not necessarily unproductive, just not being super productive.
Yeah, I know I was that way too. Over winter break, I did almost nothing. And I felt like this was so wrong and how am I not doing anything productive? But
Yeah.
at the same time, I mean, I feel like I'm still being involved with my nonprofits and doing that work. It's just lower stakes and kind of school is slowed down, but I also felt like I really needed that. The fall was crazy. I was, going to conferences and busy with school and college applications. And so I feel like I need it to slow down now for a couple months before, it picks back up.
No, I'm glad that you've realized that that's really important. Yeah, because believe me, once you go to college, it's a whole different environment and experience. And as fun as it is, there's something about it that you realize, like, I'm no longer a kid anymore. Like that part of my life is like now in the past. And then as you keep going, it's like becomes further and further in
Hmm.
the distance. And there's something kind of weird about that. So yeah, take the time to really be present and acknowledge the fact that like this is once you go off to college, it's just it changes things in a way where not negative, it's just it's a change. It's a huge change.
Yeah. A lot of people were saying that 2025 went by so slow, and I
Are you
disagree with
kidding
that.
me?
I thought
I
it
was
was
like the
so fast.
opposite.
I said I that year was really fast. I
Yeah.
don't know where the last 6 months went. I ha It feels like a blur, and it's like I did all that in 6 months. There was so much going on,
I know
and
that's how
so
I feel too. The other day I was thinking about like everything I did in 2025
Mhm.
and it was a lot. But
Yeah,
even though everything went by so quickly, I'm like, okay, I did a documentary, I got a tattoo, I went on a yoga retreat to Mexico. Like all these, I went to a Chargers game. I went, like I was thinking about all these really cool things. And I thought, wow, I really did a lot in 2025. It's almost like, okay, now it's 2026, like start doing some really cool things.
yeah. No, even just with, when we came down to film Rock the Boat, I can't believe that was in 2025. It feels so
It
long
was?
ago. Yeah, I know. And it was, I think it was April or March, and it wasn't even the beginning of 2025.
That's
And that
crazy.
feels so long ago. Or even the documentary filming. I know it's in the back of my mind and that it happened over the summer, but it feels like that happened 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, it's real. Like the concept of time gets even crazier as you get older.
Yeah.
Like that's what's weird is like now hitting 50, it's almost this sense of okay, now I'm on the second half of my life. Like
Mhm.
there's something about like okay, now I'm on the other side of that hill and I'm not guaranteed how much
Mhm.
longer. I mean, it sounds morbid, but it's true. You're not, at this point, you just don't know. So it's almost this sense of like urgency too at the same time of like, well, I better get all the things that I've been wanting to do like on that bucket list done, but then it doesn't make life really fun either if you're feeling pressure to have to do a lot of things. It's a very weird state of being in. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, I know. I don't know, this past year has just been so weird. There was so much in it, and I feel like a lot of change, and it's just been, I don't know, it was just wild. I was like, 2025 is a wild year.
It was, yeah. I thought for sure, I'm like, okay, it's 2025, I'm turning 50. Like, I'm one of those people where I'm big like on numbers and kind of
Mhm.
milestones. And yeah, I did a lot, but I feel like personally and just growth wise, like I still feel like this year is going to be the year that I really kind of recognize the growth that I've been working on and just like evolving and just working on myself. And I thought it was going to be last year because of, the year, but then that's another thing I have to tell myself, Raquel, remember the timeline is very different for everyone. 2026, 50, me being 51 is okay too. I know it doesn't sound as cool. But
No, 51
I
is
get so
cool.
focused on those things. It's part of I have a little OCD. And so I tend to obsess on things. And those are kind of the stupid things I obsess on.
I do that too.
Yeah, I know. Um, all right, so we've got the baking has now come into to play, which I love. And then as far as everything that you're working right now with your advocacy, where is your focus right now with that? Because I know that you had different roles that you were playing in different
Yeah, so
places.
so yeah, with ICANN, which is the pediatric patient advocacy organization that I work with, I've been helping or fundraising for the summit this summer and trying to make sure that we can make that happen. So, been working on that. I had a couple cool opportunities in the fall to speak at an FDA meeting, and kind
Mm,
of give my thoughts on how different policies and laws impacted me. And then obviously I was able to go to the conference in San Diego,
mhm.
and present an abstract, which was so fun.
And you won the award for best high school presentation, right?
Yes, that was fun too.
Congrats.
And I got to go to another conference at Georgia Tech and just talk about my experience as a pediatric patient and working with ICANN and kind of why youth voices are important in healthcare, similar to what you're doing here and kind of what this podcast is all about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been kind of doing that on the advocacy front and just helping out with planning and kind of executing some other aspects of ICANN's program and working on some curriculum as well. And then the other organization I volunteer with is, Digital for Good. And we've also been working with our change makers and trying to plan our annual summit there,
Yeah.
which
I have a
is
call with
also,
Sonia, I think on Thursday.
yes.
Yes. So she's,
So those are also all amazing change makers, and I love seeing what they're doing.
yeah, that's the thing is, I was on a podcast yesterday as a guest with someone in Australia, and she's like, "What has surprised you with just this generation?" And I told her, I was like, every time I talk to someone, it doesn't matter if they're doing all these volunteer work or advocacy, or if they're just your everyday teenager, they still give me so much hope because so many of you really are trying to give back and make a difference. And I really believe that it is going to happen. I feel like maybe right now a lot of people think that we don't have like the power to do anything or that whatever we do might not make a difference. But I just want people to still encourage people to
Yeah.
try to make a difference and to keep going. I mean, that's why I do this. There's plenty of people like, why does it matter what Gen Z thinks? Why should I care about what their struggles are and their obstacles? I'm like, you should care because they're our future. And wouldn't you want to invest in our future? And investing in our future could easily mean just listening and
Yeah.
wanting to learn more.
Yeah. And I think you really see that when you can, you see tangible impact of your work, and that's the most rewarding part, in my opinion,
Oh,
being able to
thank
see
you.
what change you were able to bring about, or, someone's life that you impacted. I think that really, reinforces why we do what we do.
Yeah, no, exactly. And like, for instance, when you said that you get to speak in front of the FDA, I mean, that's a really big deal. And
Mhm.
again, like, I would love for you to kind of maybe touch upon that a little bit, because again, I think what we see in the media and what we hear is that the healthcare system could care less about their patients, could care less, and when I was talking to you in the documentary, you were explaining these things in a way where I thought, wow, okay, there are pharmaceutical companies out there that are wanting to really hear what someone like yourself has to say because they want to do better. And so that they're actually listening to all of you and giving you guys a platform to do that. So I would love for you to kind of touch upon about that a little bit more. Because again, to give hope to people that there are people that are actually trying to do something about all of this.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I didn't think about it that way, actually. But, what you were saying about healthcare, I think that's such a big generalization.
Yeah,
Um, and, obviously true to some extent, but I focus more in the pediatric space, which pediatric healthcare is so different from adult healthcare in um, a variety of ways. Providers are much more human, kind of, and fun and caring.
I
And
would hope
so,
so.
yes.
That's good to hear.
And I mean, I haven't, experienced the adult side of it, but I think there's kind of like a magical feel to the pediatric landscape, and a lot of pharmaceutical companies want to make sure that their kid products are kid friendly more so than they do on the adult side. I think it's important that kids be heard because they currently are not. And, the divisions of, patient engagement, pediatric patient engagement in these pharmaceutical companies are making an effort to try and incorporate feedback from kids. But it's something I think that's not seen as much
Mm-mm.
in the bigger picture, the same way that, so many things go missed because healthcare is a huge industry and there's so many parts to it. But I feel like there are smaller things that are being done. They just go unnoticed.
Yeah, that's why when you were talking about it, it was something that I wasn't privy to at
Yeah.
all. So that's why I was like, oh, let's talk about it a little bit more so that people can be aware that that is happening behind the scenes. Yeah.
Yeah. And before I joined ICANN, I had no clue about any of this either. And I kind of always thought about how, they make products for kids without having kids, talk about the problem or knowing without being a kid essentially, right?
Yeah.
And products are made by adults, but times change so much in from when they were kids to when they're now making that product. And so it's really cool to know that even, agencies like the FDA value kids' voices and are taking the initiative to make sure that they're heard.
So are you allowed to say like what kind of specific questions or things they wanted to hear from you?
Yeah, so it was a public meeting, so
Okay.
I can totally talk about it. But I was asked to kind of give my thoughts on how the BPCA, which is the Best Pharmaceuticals for Children Act, impacted me and how that made a difference. And this was kind of their like some year review on the policies and
Mm.
reevaluating them. But I was able to talk about how it, expands access to medications and gives pharma companies the incentive to develop specific products for kids or do clinical trials on kids because and this law gives them an incentive, a monetary incentive to do so. And that way they can kind of make sure that kids are being given, drugs or some kind of medicine that has been tested appropriately as opposed to using it off label.
No, that's good to hear. Were you among of how many kids did they have speak?
We had a couple, I think 3 or 4
Okay.
representatives from ICANN, like kids that were talking.
Okay. So it was like the FDA collaborating with ICANN, and then ICANN, chose certain advocates within the nonprofit. That's kind of
Yeah,
like how
yeah.
it went
So
down.
yeah, we were kind of asked to have some kids come and talk about it if they wanted. And it was like a short 5-10 minute part of the meeting.
Yeah.
And so we were part of that. And then, they obviously had other pharma companies and different advocacy groups and things like that.
So I would love to know if there's an opportunity for if anybody's listening who happens to be younger and is really also very much an advocate in the space or would like to be because maybe they themselves have some a condition and they themselves are on medication and also want to be more of an advocate for certain things like is are they able to be a part of an organization like I can like is it open to anybody to come in and somehow be a member, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, ICANN is open to everyone, kids with and without medical conditions.
Okay.
Both. We have chapters across the world. So, more than likely there's a chapter local to wherever someone lives, and each chapter does different work and kind of collaborates with the broader organization as well on opportunities like this.
No, that's good to know. Because again, I think what happens is a lot of people don't even know these type of organizations or opportunities
Mhm.
or advocacy groups are even out there in existence. So that's why I love to be able to to share stuff like this because then someone might be listening and or it could even be an adult who has a kid,
Mhm.
that would love for their kid to be a part of it as well. I just think it's always really cool just to let people know like there are things out there. There are ways that you can try to make
Yes.
a difference too. And if it's sharing your voice or your opinion or your experience, then,
Yeah.
then that's the way to do it. It doesn't have to be something super profound or large, I think, I've had these conversations with people that I think that's what happens too, is it stops a lot of us from doing anything because we feel like it has to be this huge impact. And we
Mhm.
forget that there's ripple effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like once you find your platform, you can start, that impact, like you said, the ripple effect kind of plays into it, and you can go bigger and bigger on the impact that you're making as, once you find the right platform for you.
Yeah. I love that. Well, that was fantastic. I got to learn a little bit more about you, which is always fun.
Yes.
And I might have to get you into astrology a little bit. When were you born? I was curious just your sign.
Oh, January 6th. I think I'm a
That would be
Capricorn.
Capricorn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I have a friend
I
who's
love how you know
January
this
6th.
off the top of your head.
Yeah, it's funny because I have found that as a Leo, I attract certain signs and I
Mhm.
definitely like know a lot about certain signs. And then there's signs that I'm not really kind of invested in, and Capricorn's one of those. So I truly believe that also signs like attract other signs and just
Mm.
personalities and just the whole, kind of earth, fire, water signs type
Yeah.
thing. There's a reason why some clash and some
Mhm.
don't. Uh, so yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Huh. All right. We're gonna have to explore this a little bit more.
Yeah. For sure.
Awesome. Well, is there anything that you'd like to share before we close out?
I don't
Anything we
know.
didn't talk about, or you just kind of want to like leave us with some
No
inspiration?
inspiration. Let's see. Honestly, okay, it's gonna sound so cliche.
Okay.
I think people or anyone honestly should just follow, what they're really passionate about and invest yourself in one or two things like deeply rather than doing multiple things at a more surface level. And I don't know, I think it's very rewarding to be continuous with something and then be able to look back and see all the things you've done.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. Especially with the younger generations, I feel like they need to they need to do all these things, all these, like different interest activities, hobbies, and a lot of times, yeah, sometimes it's better to be, what is it, the master of one instead of, like the jack, because people are
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm a jack of all trades and but a master of none. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's yeah. So yeah, I feel like there's something to be said about that too.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
for
I
sure.
like that. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on Rated Gen Z. Whoop whoop.
Yes, I'm so excited. I graduated from
You
Rock the Boat.
graduate. I know I should give diplomas to my Rock the
Yes.
Boaters that have graduated and can come on.
Yes, and
All
I'm so
right.
excited for season two.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll see if be doing a drive-by in a couple days because that cake
Yes.
sounds really good.
All
All right.
right.
Bye.